people see the very glorious side of acting and the film industry. They see the red carpet, they see the premieres, they see the films. And then clip to me rolling around literally at 7 o'clock in the morning outside in a forest, -2 degrees, rolling around in the dirt with panda makeup on, doing an art film.
Isabella.
Isabella Rosetti is a professional Danish choreographer, actress, and dancer.
I started ballet when I was 4.
Okay.
And then I went to the Royal Ballet School when I was 6.
Yeah.
As far as I understand it, ballet is made for Barbie dolls, not humans. We were told from the first day, this is not a playground, this is a work.
Yeah.
Say 13 or 14.
Well, that's a decade of experience, right?
Where I signed up for a summer school for film acting at Young Film Academy in Guildford, England.
He has featured in many big screen productions, created and choreographed many dance performances, teaching dance lessons at the Savory Academy.
And in this podcast.
It goes a long way, right? Because
yeah, it's worth diamonds.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing you can do is to be there for each other.
The grades are just numbers, like your parents said. At the end of the day, it's just a degree that's going to get you into the door. But if you don't have the life skills, actually be a better person, the character is always going to be the determining factor.
That's true, because people who apply, everybody has the grades.
Yeah.
That's not going to make you shine.
Yeah.
What's going to make you shine is your experience.
Exactly.
And how you deal with the situations, how you solve problems.
Talk about that. You know, this is one thing with acting, right? Sometimes on some sets, some production companies, you never know what you're gonna get. You know, because maybe like the script is complicated, or maybe you have like difficult colleagues, or maybe the food, or maybe the whole setup is not the best. You know, so I think there's always like these little challenges sometimes with the acting, right?
Well, I mean, definitely. And to avoid that, I just try to have really good conversations with the people in charge. Like before I go on a project, I read it thoroughly and I have a long conversations with the director and the producer and people in charge. So I'm aware of the overall vision of it and everything. So I know what I'm saying yes to.
Yeah.
But again, you start developing the film, you look at the script, you work and you see how you want it to look on camera. But the story is told through editing. So you could have a scene where you've been told now you're crying with joy because somebody's getting married.
Okay.
And then they cut it and it's actually used for a death scene.
Yeah.
And you don't know what they end up doing, but it's so exciting when you see it. So I feel like a child in a candy shop sometimes. It's like, oh, what am I going to get?
Yeah.
So many different things.
You know, this is also one thing about the whole movie aspect, you know, the editing part, right? Yeah. Because I was also watching like this movie called RRR. It's an Indian movie, right? The latest, it just won the Grammy and Oscars and all of that. It's very great in the US as well. And the way they were doing it is there were some scenes that had to be edited. They had to be shot. They do some editing to see if it's actually going to work before they go back to shooting again.
Ah, okay.
You know, so they're not just like shooting and then like give the movie to the editors to go and do the work.
Yeah.
You know, so they do like a test. Like, is this actually going to work with our editing and all of that?
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like the whole movie production thing is a wonderful process sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it's so fun because it's really creative and yet so practical at the same time.
Yeah.
So it can be done in so many different ways.
Exactly.
And people have their law as to how it works for them. And so making a team work together is like when it happens, it's magnificent.
What do you think about the power of a good story in a whole movie project?
It's about connecting with the person you're playing with and connecting to the story and to the character.
Yeah.
Because we're forced to agree on something.
Yeah, right.
We're forced to be on the same wavelength because in society today, we're so divided by everything and we have different opinions, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
But just being forced to be present in this moment together, agreeing on this is the situation we're in, these are emotions, these are everything.
Yeah.
I think that's so magical.
You know, like immersing yourself into certain roles, I feel like that's something that demands like passion. Because there are days when you wake up and be like, oh my God, I don't even want to do this. But just it's your passion and your discipline that's going to drive you to.
You couldn't be more right about that. I mean, the thing is, people see the very glorious side of acting and the film industry. They see the red carpet, they see the premieres, they see the films, they see all the magic presented to them. And it's so funny because I know that and I've seen that before I went and worked in the industry. So when I'm in these situations that are like not glamorous at all, I just find myself laughing so hard because I can just imagine people thinking, oh, they look like $1 gazillion every day.
Yeah,
they just
right.
walk on the red carpet and they've got fans and all
They
that.
don't know
And
what's
then
happening
clip to
behind.
me rolling around literally at 7 o'clock in the morning outside in a forest, -2 degrees, rolling around in the dirt with panda makeup on, doing an art film. And it's...
You know, those are the challenges of acting, right? But besides that, you feel like, okay, what's the better part of acting? It's for example, while you're still in the production stage, right? What's gonna be the better part? Maybe like shooting in the studio, like on the green screens and all of that. You think that's gonna be?
I did green screen once, and it was a fun experience to try it out.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, it left a lot to the imagination.
Right.
It's especially like I did a scene where I was supposed to sit on a train looking out the window. And for me, I can easily imagine things and feel it and make it real. But I kept thinking, oh, my eyes need to look like something's moving past me. And then I was like, wait, where is that house? And did I look at it? And is there like what? And I was just trying to focus, but I also have to feel something. And then am I just looking like this? Like, I don't know. So that made it a little bit stressful for me. But I mean, I definitely prefer when you're outside doing and you can feel the elements and you can actually be in it. Like, which I'm really looking forward to. Yeah.
Did you used to play outside in the rain when you were young?
Yeah, always. I had my big red boots on and I was splashing water puddles. I actually thought about buying a red pair again just to get that feeling.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
I'm telling you, it's such a great feeling. Like me too, you know. It's that childhood feeling when, you know, I used to play football too in the rain all the time. You know, I was specifically waiting for the rain to start.
Yeah.
Then I
That's adorable.
And some days, you know, like when the parents were not around and there was no guardian around, you know, I was just like waiting, like, okay, it seems like it's gonna rain. The ball is going out.
Better head out now. I can just imagine your mum calling out to you, no! Gee! Get it! I don't want your mud on the floor.
Hey, like for real. You know, after that, I usually had to hide my clothes or arrange them real quick, you know, and keep everything clean back in order before.
Oh, wow.
But yeah.
I was always like a little bit of a tomboy when I was a little in kindergarten. And it's actually quite weird how my life then turned because I used to be so fascinated by clay. So I would find the clay hive. Like I would look for clay when I was outside. I think I still have it somewhere, like a ball of clay I had when I was young.
What was so fascinating about it? Was it the smell?
I loved the texture, and
the
the smell of it. And know what it was, but I just really liked it.
Yeah.
And I would really play with the boys a lot. Not I liked playing with the girls, but then it would sort of be one-on-one. I didn't like the whole girl group dynamic thing going on. They wanted to change clothes behind the house, and I didn't really feel like that. I'd rather play Star Wars, even though I didn't know what Star Wars was.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of guy friends and enjoyed that, and just running around. I love climbing trees, I still do. And then I came into the ballet school because I love dancing.
Yeah.
And I love dancing. That was me. But the environment was, mostly girls. We had 5 girls and 1 boy in our class.
What
our
age did
only
this
year.
ballet start?
I started ballet when I was 4.
Okay.
And then I went to the Royal Ballet School when I was 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then I left when I was 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a decade of experience, right?
Yeah.
Really
And
young.
it was such a huge shift for me because I
Yeah.
was used to. I went to I don't know what it's called in English, like a Rudolf Steiner school.
Yeah.
It's very much about freedom and in your own time, outside.
Okay.
Be a kid.
Yeah.
And then to the Royal Ballet School where it was like we were told from the first day, this is not a playground. This
Yeah.
is a workspace. And you
Wow.
were 6 years old.
In
But I
your
love
six-
yeah, but I love
Tell your
I mean
6-year-old
I
not to
love the
play.
discipline and I mean I thrived in that.
Yeah.
But the social part with all the competition and yeah, I mean ballet is quite uptight and
Yeah,
you can also
right.
feel that with the
I
way
think,
people are
yeah.
socially.
I think I've seen some of the ballet behind the scenes preparation and all of that, or maybe the training, and it's very like strict. You don't gotta move in a certain way. You always have to do it like almost 100% perfect. Isn't that like some kind of extra like torture on the body, maybe, or maybe
Well,
pushing your body to some kind of extreme limits?
as far as I understand it, ballet is made for Barbie dolls, not humans. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
things
yeah.
are changing always because then people are too aware of the body has to be perfect, and then more different bodies come into it, and then people are disappointed with that, and then they go back to the perfect body. So it's like a wave,
Yeah.
comes and it goes.
Mhm.
I mean, definitely, if you have the perfect body for ballet, it's gonna be easier for you to dance because you're not gonna have to work extra hard.
Yeah.
Because you already have the muscles and the flexibility from birth.
What kind of muscles do you need?
Well, no, you do have the muscles, but for example, with turnout is a thing that naturally your legs, it's to do with the bone, like how far it can turn.
Yeah, right.
So, and you need to be quite flexible in that. And that's something you can train a little bit, but not too much. So, yeah.
I'm always amazed at the way the ballet dancers are always like bending their ankles. It looks like it's gonna break at some point.
Yeah.
So 11 years of ballet dancing. That's where you got most of your choreography from?
Yeah.
Mm.
I've always been quite creative in all senses. Like I would always make up my own stories or choreographies before I even knew what I was doing.
Okay.
But at the Royal Theatre, I got a chance. Sometimes we had freedom. We would sort of choreograph a few steps in class to help with something. And I marveled at that. I loved it. And then every year we had a choreography showcase day where each class had to choreograph a piece. I was in that as well. And then the last 2 years at the school, I was in a company called Company B. It stands for Company Barn, like children.
Yeah.
Where we were touring around, like we went to Greenland and around in Denmark, different places, and also on the main stages where we choreographed all our own pieces, and we were teaching all these workshops for so many different people. And that just really got my eye up for choreography, that I knew that was something I wanted to pursue.
Let's say, for example, you have to come up with a choreography for a movie, right? Do you sometimes have to think about like making your dance go with the script as well?
Yeah. That's the thing. It's really different what the scenes I'm doing. Sometimes it's maybe in a club, they have to be dancing. Other times it's an actual dance piece they want to show. Or it's the character who has to move a certain way, or maybe it's a scene where they need more flow in it. So my task can be so varied. And I just take it on the go and see what's needed. And I just try to ask as many questions as possible. So that I can plan for myself. But thankfully, one of my strong suits is improvising.
Like you have to be, right?
I love it, and it gives me so much energy, and that also makes me so safe that I can any situation I can be in. I'm just gonna be okay.
You said at 4 years old, you started with the choreography. So what did your parents think about you deciding to go into ballet? Or were they the ones who sent you into it?
No, well, I mean, it started off by my parents, like most parents, they want their kids to try out different things. And I went, funnily enough, I went to an acting class where they were playing Little Red Riding Hood. I hated it. I sat in the corner and I screamed. I didn't want any part of that. And so my mum, she took me out and it was all right. And then on the way out, we passed this giant window of 7-year-olds dancing at a bar. Like, just technique. And for most people, it would look quite boring, I assume. But I was stuck there. I stood there for over an hour, completely transfixed. Normally, I had to pee every 20 minutes. So I still to this day, I can't understand how I didn't. But I was, and then I turned to my mum. She's remembered this and told me every day. It's like, you turned to me and you said, I want technique. She was like, okay, I'll find you a ballet class then. And we went, and I enjoyed every bit of it. And I told her I wanted to dance every day. And then they had these open, fun day classes to experience what it was like at the Royal Theatre. And we just did one of those, and I really loved it. And they asked me if I wanted to audition, and I didn't know what I said yes. So I was like, yeah. My parents, they kept asking me. It's a long audition round for like weeks ahead because they have so many assessments. And every day they was like, are you sure you want to do this? Yes, stop asking me. I want to dance.
Right.
But I really understand their hesitation because it is a tough place to be. And,
but I think at that age, you couldn't really know what you were getting yourself into.
No.
You were just happy to be in that environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to dance. That was all it was about. Yeah. While I went to the ballet school, I kept on just dreaming about acting, and sort of I was more and more interested in that world. And then I decided to really do something about it when I was, I want to say 13 or 14. Where I signed up for a summer school course for film acting at Young Film Academy in Guildford, England. It's a lovely place. And I went there, and it was the first time I ever felt at home in a place with these people where it was just all about collaboration. To everybody just loved a story and used each other and helped show that and tell that story. It was just so much about being together and creating something. It wasn't all about me, and you go down so I can go up, or like, it was just so wholesome. And that's when I knew, okay, if I can do something where I fit in creatively and socially, I'll do that. Instead of some place where I fit in creatively but not really socially. So I want to be whole and feel every need is sort of covered. And so I decided that I would do the last years at the school, and then I would change direction.
That's also one thing that I was thinking, that really shapes our destiny and our path in life, our first experiences. Because usually I think people don't get to do certain things in life, not because they didn't try it, but because the first experiences they had was like very terrible. So rather than sitting around and keep on trying. At a young age, like 6, what if you went into that ballet class and then you probably had like so much pain on your ankle that you could not come the next day? Or maybe it wasn't fun as you saw it through the window.
Yeah.
You'll probably feel like, man, I wanted to just have fun as a kid. I wanted to just be in this nice environment and be on this stage with these other people, and have that experience, you know. And what instead happened was having a negative experience. I think as a kid, you probably wouldn't have loved to continue further, right? But
Well, I think that what I've discovered is you're not in charge of what is being thrown your way. Your power lies with how you react towards it.
true.
And of course, if something is a pattern, then you sort of figure out what that is. But I always try to do things based on what I want to try out because it's something new. I don't put too many sort of what's it called when you think something's going to happen, an expectation. I don't have a lot of expectations to it. It's more like, I'm curious about this. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then when I'm there, I can feel, okay, was it maybe just the group of people, there was a weird mix, or was it the actual thing, or was it because I was a beginner, I was really bad at it, or what was it actually that went wrong? And then normally it's like, just because it's new and I'm not a natural at it, it's like, oh, well, I better learn it. And then you just do the hard work if you want to do it. But I think I see success for me is just deciding on something and executing it.
What are your siblings up to? Your family, your mom, dad, are they into acting as well?
Well, not really. My mother, she has a background with contemporary dance. So that's, she does a lot of choreography as well. And she's working with actors and dancers and composers. She did a lot of her own choreography when she was pregnant with me and when I was younger as well. And now she's sort of helping carry a company up for 55 plus people, where they're dancing and touring, and she's in that, and she's helping making it work. I think it's amazing because I feel like for women, we're sort of still expanding, seeing. I mean, usually for actors or for dancers, there is a certain period of time where then you can't dance anymore. You're a certain age, or maybe in the film industry, you're not like attractive enough after a certain age or something.
Talk about that.
And then so, and that's really a shame for women. So to be able to have a company that's for women who are above 55 years of age, is so empowering.
If you think about it, I feel like you need even in most movies, you need a balance of old and young characters, right? Because in certain movies, you have like older people in the movies as well who are like parents, or maybe like dramas where you have, for example, Oprah. She kind of old, but she's still fit to act, right? In certain roles where you need like an elderly person, for example, right? So.
And that's the thing I love with acting, because you can literally have any age and still have a career.
Fit in, right?
Yeah. Dancing is a little bit more difficult because depending on the style of dancing and your agility and your well-being, I mean, that was also like ballet is really hard on your body. You go on pension when you're 40. So, and then it's like,
what's the retirement
age? What do I do now?
What's the retirement age in ballet?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the struggle. But a lot of people then go into teaching and they move differently and they can use their career, of course. Yeah. But I'm very happy to be able to do a lot of different things. So I'm always sort of occupied in doing what I love instead of committing solely to one thing. And that's the only thing I can put my mind to. This is a broadening experience.
Amazing. What about your siblings?
I have 2 older sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're the youngest?
Yes.
I said you were elder sister or elder brother to elder sister to a younger brother or something.
Yeah, I mean, they are 10 years plus older than me. So
Oh.
I've sort of grown up as like not
They're
an
like
only
aunties or
child,
something,
but
yeah.
like a little bit like that. But we have an amazing relationship. My youngest older sister, she is a really good seller, and she's recruiting, and she runs a team. And my older sister, she just gave birth.
Yeah.
I'm an auntie now.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that was true love when I first held her. That was wow.
But yeah. So
But she's
it's
also very creative. Like she loves storytelling.
Yeah.
She writes books as well, and she's also recruiting and really good at seeing the strengths in people and creating a team and doing all that.
So it's an overall creative family you guys have.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, we use it very differently and in different fields, but it's at the core definitely.
Yeah.
And then like an iron strong will, like my sisters, they're also really like they've been very physically active and doing all sorts of sports and like hardcore sports.
Oh, really?
hard. Yeah, like my older sister, she did. Do you know kabaddi?
No. What kind of
Kabaddi
sport
is like the sport in India, as far
Yeah.
as I know.
that?
It's quite violent. It's like
What are they doing?
it's sort
What are
of
they doing?
tag, but it's a wrestling game,
Okay.
and you hold hands with a few other people from your team,
Yeah.
and then you try to catch a person on the other end, and then when you catch them, it's about wrestling them.
Yeah.
And
How do you wrestle when you're holding hands with the other?
I can't really remember the rules, but it's I think if you're caught, you let go, or maybe it's always 4 or 5 of them against one, or like it's something like it's really it's a force of nature, but
Wow.
it's like a really big thing there. She doesn't do that anymore. She did jiu-jitsu as well.
Oh, did you?
And
That's a
now
great
she,
one too.
yeah,
Yeah.
now she does what's it called? A lot of kite surfing and wakeboarding.
Wow, she's really adventurous. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
my older sister, she's done she does a lot of paddle, and before that she also did a lot of handball, and she did CrossFit as well, maybe some bodybuilding as far as I remember. But
Wow.
like, so it's a very active family.
Sporty,
And my dad
active.
who had his own karate place and
Yeah.
stuff, and yeah,
Wow.
so
That's a very busy lifestyle you guys have.
yeah. I mean, we go 100% at
Yeah.
everything. It's like I don't give half of anything. Why would I waste my energy? It's like I do
True.
this fully. Yeah.
Who are you closest with amongst your 2 sisters and your mom
Oh.
there?
I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
It's the same.
I think it's just close in different ways or in different areas, or yeah. I think we're all very close as a family. We sort of also, because my parents are educated coaches, so like the mental stuff, and I've just been brought up with that and with good communication and know exactly what's going on and mindset and all of that. So that's brought us really close as a family, that we just talk freely about things. And yeah.
I think for family to grow and stick together, there always has to be this how can I say it, a great balance of fun and discipline, right? And a nice atmosphere of openness to express yourself.
Yeah.
I think those 3 elements have to really go hand in hand to have a wonderful family, right? Or what do you think about that?
Well, I think when you give people space to be themselves, but also facilitate an environment where people can grow, they can fail, they can learn, but you're always there for ground support. So that also you're loved no matter what you do. Like my parents, they say, like, whatever makes you happy. We don't care if you're a dancer or like a lawyer or a stripper or like it's if what
But
makes you
no-
happy,
Not
it's
everything now.
No, but they literally
in the right path. In the right path.
No, but I mean, they did say strip, and not that they were encouraging me, but they just say like, we just want you to be happy and we'll support you.
Yeah.
But when I did tell them that I wanted to do acting, my dad, he was like, "Are you sure you shouldn't be a mechanic or an engineer or something?" I was like, "Yes, It's not really my main interest, Dad." He's like, "Right, well, let's have a meeting, and we'll make a plan. You stick to that, I'm all in."
Okay.
And we did.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for that, because instead of saying, "Oh, it's never gonna happen, you can't do that, and what are you thinking? Only this % makes it," and it's just like,
Open.
make a plan. I'll help you get there.
Yeah.
But if you're just gonna be lazy and say, "Oh, I want to be an actor, I want to go on the red carpet," then, I mean, you're not gonna make it. So let's just be realistic. And I like that, because then it made a path clear for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you had that fatherly support to like guide you and show you the necessary support that you needed to, because I feel like a lot of us we fail because we don't have the support. Even if the support doesn't come financially, because some people come from financially unstable or financially less wealthy environments, you know, but just having that support, that moral support every day from your dad and your mom, or maybe your siblings, that, hey, okay, this is what you have chosen. It's a good career path, even if we're not 100% in line with it, but we at least support you. And every day they're like, hey, what did you do today? Hey, do you hold yourself accountable? Hey, is it going according to the way you want it? Are you happy with it? Just that moral support, I feel like it goes a long way, right? Because
it's worth diamonds. It's the most important thing you can do, is to be there for each other.
Yeah, right.
Want the best and believe in each other. I mean, I've never been in doubt whether they love me, or it's always been, I'd know I'd always count on them. And I could fail as much as I would like. Like, also in school with grades, I was not worried about their reaction. It was just me. I wanted to get the grade, and that's what I worried about. And they were like, I mean, you do your best and I'll help you study with this equation and whatnot. But I mean, it's just a test, and you're more than the numbers. And
you're more than the numbers.
Yeah.
Guys, this is also the thing about school, Isabella. People, when I look back at my life, the way I was so stuck in school, struggling to get all the good grades, thinking it's going to get me somewhere in life. Oh my goodness. I'm like, I think I should have used that time to learn sales maybe instead. Or maybe learn how to manage money, or some skill, something, because the grades are just numbers, like your parents said.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just a degree that's going to get you into the door. But if you don't have the life skills to actually be a better person, your character is always going to be the determining factor.
That's true, because people who apply, everybody has the grades.
Yeah.
That's not going to make you shine.
Yeah.
What's going to make you shine is your experience.
Exactly.
And how you deal with the situations, how you solve problems.
Talk about that. Yeah.
And that goes for literally anything, any job interview, any job, also in acting and in dancing. For example, with my students, what I really focus on a lot, I have students who do dancing and performing and acting. In dance, of course, you need the technique for it, because you need to be able to lift your leg this high and be in sync with the other dancers. And that's the baseline. And if you only work on that, you're just going to be the baseline. But what makes the jury look at you and think, you're special, I want that? That's because they shine and they show emotion, they tell a story, they're magnetic. That's what you need to really push for and work for when you're in the room, when you're working. Because people forget it. They think, oh, but I love what I do. But can other people feel it?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people where it's like they do enjoy themselves, but I don't really know it. Like, they seem peaceful,
Yeah.
but it's not going to work on stage where the public, they're like 100 meters away and there's light and everything and you can't really see what's going on.
Yeah.
The thing is, you come a long way when you're just you. And I know everybody says that, but there really is some magic to it. Like, the most cool you can be is when you're literally just grounded and you're you. And that's also helped me in my life, because I know that this industry has a lot of, I mean, because it's a media, you promote stuff, and then suddenly people become very dependent on what other people think of them, and then they have more of a mask on, or they become maybe a different personality. And I remember thinking a few nights, I was like, who do I want to be, and what should I show to people? Because I don't want to be someone else, but is that required of me in this industry? And what, like, I was like, oh, how do I do all that? But then I decided, you know what? I'm doing this to be happy, to fill myself up with joy. If I'm somebody else, that's not going to bring me joy. It's just going to end up as some sick game, me trying to be perfect. That's not going to give me anything. Yeah. So I'd rather be successful as me, or be like unsuccessful in this field as me, than being successful and I can't recognize myself. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Sure. So I think demanding what do you want your reality to be, and just stick to that. And I think it will come your way.
Amazing. Yeah. That's a great message, guys. Where do you see yourself in 10 years, Isabella? Have you thought about it?
Yeah. I think I want a lot of things, and I know that, especially in this field, it's not linear. It's not like you do this program, you get there, you get this job. It's very, also because I work in different roles within the field, choreographer, dancer, actor. And it can go so many ways. I'm very open, but I do know I want to work on theatre and film. I want to work in England and in Denmark. Mainly England right now, because I just love Shakespeare. I'd love to perform on the Globe and the National Theatre there. And I really want to do a TV series where I get that feel of family, where you get to see each other for quite a long period of time, where you become really, really close with the people you work with for so long. I really want to try that experience. So that's what I'm aiming towards. But the thing is, I'd love to do projects where one theatre piece, one film, one music video, like keep it varied. So I'm in all the elements all the time and I get to play different roles. But you never know what contracts are going to get your way, or what's in production, or which stories are being told. But I also know that I can be in charge of that myself. So I do my own projects and I hire people in and I make things happen if I have a dream. So I'm open, but I also have like sort of an idea of within this is what I want. And then it doesn't really matter the location of which piece gets picked first and the order of things. Also with the industry, of course, there are castings. You get cast for a film. But a lot of the times it's because you know somebody who knows somebody, or they've seen this work that you've done. So they get a gist of your character in a much more all-rounded way than a general casting, where it's sort of very distant and it's only this role. Which is both good and bad, because then you know you're really appreciated for what you bring to the table. And you know you have a genuine connection. But at the same time, it's also weird, because people also go through all these processes all the time, and what's fair, what's not fair, and then there's nepotism, and like there are so many things going on that it's like, what is actually fair in this industry?
All right, guys, it's been the Chicha Show. Before we're closing, Isabella, do you have any message on your mind? Anything you'd like to share before we close?
The world is open. Let's see. Words of wisdom, who knows? I think we've covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a great chat.
Yeah, I'm enjoying myself. But I think just remember that it's your life and you decide how you want to live it.
Okay.
So just make that choice.
Yeah.
Figure something out and try things out before you decide on something, so that when you do it, you can be 100% in it. So your mind is not elsewhere.